Hello, I'm Al Santillo, third generation brick oven Italian bread baker. I'm here in Elizabeth, New Jersey, where we're featuring our 100-year-old brick oven, which has a true Roman arch that's over 160 square feet in size. That's one-of-a-kind beauty that will make your bread come as good as it possibly really can be. We're gonna make Italian whole wheat bread. So now, this is like a 1-scoop recipe. This scoop right here, the reason I'm showing you the scoop is it could be a little more or a little less, depending on how you like it. So that everything in Italian cooking is a matter of taste. So I'm gonna have this 1 scoop, and then this is a 1-quart recipe for 1 quart of water. And then I got a nice chunk of yeast in there. I'm gonna say that's about 1 ounce of yeast, because I want this thing to get moving, and that's a nice amount of yeast. So I'm gonna put the water and the yeast together, and then we only use 4 ingredients here: flour, water, yeast, and salt, because that's the original recipe. Then I'm gonna take salt, about that much. You can figure out exactly how much you want yourself. Like I said, it could be a little more or a little less, but I'll put that little handful in there, and then you're gonna see, I'm gonna dissolve this. Now that was fresh compressed yeast. You could buy that at a supermarket, or you could buy it at another bakery. I don't know about where you live at. So I'm gonna just throw the whole thing in at one time like this. I'm gonna guess this is the amount. I'll leave a little bit out like that. So now I'm gonna, basically that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sit here and keep mixing it until I get a nice dough ball. It'll take a few minutes. But today, what I'm doing different is I'm only using the whole wheat flour. A lot of times, if you want, you would mix it 50% whole wheat flour and 50% white flour. But I like this whole wheat flour so much. Like I'm a brand guy. Like this brand that I'm using, I've been researching them, and it's called Snively's, and they're from Pennsylvania. I don't know where you would buy it at, but the reason I like this is, one of the few times I've seen it, it's a high gluten, and it's finely ground whole wheat flour. I need a little more flour in there, so I'm gonna put the little extra flour with the white bread flour. And there's some reasoning behind what I'm doing here. Is the whole wheat flour has certain vitamins in it, and the white flour is enriched, so it has more of these certain kind of vitamins that even the whole wheat flour doesn't have. So that's why if you mix the 2 kinds, you'll get the best of both worlds. I like flour in the bench with this, and now you're getting a 3rd flour. This is the semolina flour. I don't know what the vitamin profile on that is, but that's good flour too. That's called semolina, and it gives you a little bit of a different taste. I like to make the whole wheat flour a little softer than the white flour. When I make my whole wheat flour, I generally don't give it a second rise, because this stuff, I don't think it needs it. I think it comes better. I'm just gonna keep kneading it here. See how it's soaking in the flour? You gotta keep putting it down there. I knew I needed it a little bit more, but I planned on it coming like this. Being you're rolling it by hand, if you were doing it with the machine, I wouldn't recommend this, but anything you want to incorporate into this now, it'd probably be a good time to do it. Like if you wanted to put raisins in here, or if you want to put different kinds of seeds in there, like I have caraway seeds I could put in here. I could let this sit here 10 minutes and then roll it again. But I see it's not ready yet. I could start doing heavy kneading on it, but I just want to get it to the right consistency. Like that's a nice, when you could take it like this in your hand, that's a nice consistency right there. And like for homemade bread, that wouldn't even be really all that bad. It's kind of like mixed up, but I like to make it look a little more professional, so I'm gonna keep working on it. I did want to make it a little softer, and there's a reason I want it soft, because I don't think this, I think it comes lighter. That's the word I'm looking for. It's gonna come lighter if I don't give it a second rise, because a lot of times whole wheat flour is heavy. And this is the one that I gotta be real careful with. As soon as I see it blowing up to the size I want, I gotta get it in the oven. But that gluten that's in there, gluten is protein, so you could get a lot of protein. Everybody knows you need protein, so this is a plant source of protein. And all this other stuff that they're telling you about the bread's no good for you, I'm gonna tell you, look you straight in the face and tell you. When I put the fresh yeast in here, this is a hybrid type of wheat. That's true. That's why it has to be double fermented to break all the bonds down so that you could get the nutrition out of it. And that's why I'm telling you to make your own bread or find a place like this. That's hard to find a place like this, but if you find a place like this, you're all right. Otherwise, you have to make your own bread. And whoever's telling you bread is bad for you, tell them to come and talk to me, and you mix it the way I'm telling you, it's gonna taste great. So 7 o'clock in the morning, I came in, I mixed the dough, I scaled off whatever, a few loaves of bread. Then I set it to rise. So then I had to go get lost for like 4 hours. That's what I figured. So now I came back. See how the dough looks? Like that's a good size right there. You really can't let it go much bigger than that. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna shape it into my loaves. This is what I'm gonna say that doubled in size. This one right here, back in the day, I used to make 20 different kinds of breads. There's one I always used to like, it looked like a letter S. Make it like an S. Well, here's your S. Right, start off with an S. This folds in this way, this folds in this way, and then you squish it like that. See? You turn this one around a little bit. And you take it 1, 2, 3, and then you squish it down in here. This one you're gonna call is called a calabrese. And the long skinny one, this is always called the French bread. This was called the 12-ounce one was called the small French. I take it like this here. A lot of people never saw this close up. You take it like this, flatten out the bread, and then you just kind of roll it up like this. Roll and pinch it in. Roll and pinch it in. Roll and pinch it in. Then once you get about half of the way up, you can kind of take, you see how your hands go like this? Look how nice and clean my hands are, see? That's how a baker's hand's supposed to be. Not supposed to be no dirt on them. You gotta keep your hands nice and clean. You fold it this way, and you're coming down from the top, and you're tucking it in. See the palms of my hands? You're tucking it in with the palm of your hand. And you get it like that. That I usually now I take it, I don't always do it this way, but I got a couple extra seconds. I'll push it down like this, and then I'll push it down to the seeds. This way it's not, it's not going to open back up on you. And when that doubles in size, you're going to put it in the oven. Here's another way you make it. You want to save a couple seconds. Flatten it out like that. Start like that. Fold it in half like this. Make sure it's not stuck to the bench, and then same thing. Fold and tuck, fold and tuck, fold and tuck, fold and tuck. See how it looks like that? Now I'm going to take my hands like this. I'm going to tuck it in like that. And as big as it is, you might have to do it more if it's bigger. Then you're going to kind of flip it, and you're going to push down from the top. You see how the palms of the hands are going? And you go all the way to the end till you get to the end. Different people have slightly different ways of doing it. Sometimes I do it a different way. If you want it longer and longer, this is one of the things I used to like to do. Just make it longer and longer and longer. You could pick it up like this, and you could take it like this. Here, look, see how you take it like this? See how long I got it? And when you make them real long and skinny, then you could do different things with them. Start off with your S. Watch. This one I'll tuck all the way under. Here's your S. This one will tuck all the way under. Oh, came out the same way. Look, there's how it looks, eh? Squeeze it this way, squeeze it that way. You want to kind of like have it like that. When you're done, you should see that shape in there. If not, it ain't coming out right. Push it down in the seeds. That's how you're gonna make it. That's two of them. But the Italian bread, you really don't make it get blown up. Like I say, you can put this anywhere you want. These breads, you can pick them up later. I like putting them in these cabinets. They're gonna blow up fast today, don't worry about that. I'm gonna make a twist. Then we used to make one with 3 pieces. That was a dredge. With 3 pieces, you had to braid it. You're just gonna go like this. 2, 3, flip it over. 2, 3. Then you kind of take it like this. Can you see, Mike? How it's gonna be a ring? And you just gotta figure out how it goes together here. Then you're gonna take your hand like this. And there's your ring. Say, I like seeds on everything. Everybody doesn't like them, but I do. How's that look? That looks like something, right? You know what else I feel like making? I used to make hundreds of these too. Pizza bread. You just take them like this, and you keep flattening them out with your hand. Well, pizza bread are in style now because I think if you're at home and you have a barbecue or something and you want to make Italian hot dog or a sausage sandwich, pizza bread shape is the way to go. You could stuff it with your other stuff. So basically you get as flat as a pancake as you can, and this is the only trick you gotta practice. You gotta find the middle, and then you kind of pop it like that, and you flip it around like that. And then I had a friend worked here with my father. He made his with a shot glass. Once you had it there, you could take a shot glass and make the hole. Later on, we'll go down to Tommy's Hot Dogs, see if he gives us a free hot dog for the pizza bread. I can make something called a Boston. Boston is like the Italian bread and like the French bread, but it's short and fat. And this used to be real popular too. You get a short little fat loaf of bread. And we used to put the seeds on it. Well, I can make a round bread. I like the little round bread. I'll just take it and roll it back into a ball. These are popular. Just roll that back into a ball and squish that one back down. There's different ways of making these round bread. That's like your basic round bread. You could let that rise up and put it in the oven like that, or you could re-roll it again and let it come up a 3rd time, which is nice. All right, that's all I got to show you right now. And we were just doing this a little while ago. That's all ready for the oven now. I think this one came the nicest looking. They're nice to look at. There's that's the ring. There's little short fat ones, the Boston. These are round breads. Remember, I can pat these back down if I want. There's the pizza bread, look real good. They're gonna puff up a little bit more in the oven, but they look real good. I don't have steam in the oven. Can you see the calabrese? I like this. This was my mother's favorite. That was her favorite, was the calabrese bread. She used to like them. I used to make them for Mom. Okay, the little bit of bread I made for me and Mike today, we're gonna take to the picnic and the barbecue later. I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna put it in the oven, but just be aware as I'm coming down this hallway, this is how big the oven is. The whole time I'm coming down here, the oven's on the other side of this wall right here. You can feel how hot it is, and where this is sticking out right here, this is like a big piece of steel that's holding the oven together. There's a pin that goes through there all the way to the other side of the oven. You like it? I like it. Okay, so I'm going to cut the bread. It's up to you if you want to do it 3 times or 4 times or 5 times, but you could keep doing it like that. It takes practice. I mentioned I don't have steam in the oven. The steam helps seal the bread so you don't get a lot of bread that pops sometimes. But you're just going to have to wait and see. Some might pop. At the calabrese bread, you could cut it like this. You got a nice sharp knife, and you got to want to cut it kind of deep, and you really want to go from end to end. These are interesting how you cut them. You got to make that little box. They got to go down like that. Watch, I'll show you the right way to do it. And you see how it comes? It's got a cross over here. See how I made the little cross? That gives it the basket look. Comes like that, and it comes like that. And this one's supposed to come like that. See how it looks? And this one I said I was going to pat it down. I'm going to pat it down like this. These are ones that they call the punel. When you make it like this, you pat it down. You could let it rise again, or you don't have to. See how I do it with my heel around here? You kind of give it this. These are like one of my favorites. Take it like that. Take it like that. You're not even supposed to be turning these breads, but it's okay. Only got a few. But you want to cut it all the way across there. That gives it that look. Can you see how I got that all the way across? This one I don't cut. These other ones I don't cut. How hot is the oven? Well, I don't really know. You could test it. I could kind of tell you. Let me see. Here's different ways you test the oven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good. Anywhere between like 4 and 10, you could bake in there. That's your thermometer. Then or you could take a handful of seeds like this. This is fun to do. Can you hear that? That's good. They took a few minutes to start popping. You don't want them popping as soon as you throw them in there. Then you could throw water in there, see how long it hisses up. But I'm gonna load the bread up. And you know why I like doing this, Mike? Because I see all the good in it. I'm gonna get something good out of it. And I see the good in what I'm doing over here. How's that look? As I get another one up there. There you go. That look beautiful. See how I got them all spaced out? You could squeeze them in closer, but I got plenty of room in here. Here's the one I call the Boston. Here's the big ring. I think that one's gonna come out the nicest. Here's a couple of pizza breads. We're gonna take them down to Tommy's Italian today. If I get a chance, I'll go over there and I'll go to the Cosmo's Lemon Ice because I got time today. That's what I like to do. I'm gonna set the timer for 20 minutes, see how they look. But I'm gonna bake them by eye. I don't wanna burn them, but this is like another baking tip I'm gonna give you right now. You bake at 400 degrees, okay? 400 degrees is, you bake at 400 degrees. 400 degrees is baking temperature. But here's the problem. Here's the catch-22. If you let it go below 400 degrees by very much, you know, like even like 12 or 15 degrees below 400, then the bread's not gonna cook right. You gotta have 400 degrees. And the bigger they are, the lower the temperature you gotta cook them at. So you could cook them at less temperature if they're bigger. If they're small, like the little 4-ounce rolls, they're probably cooking about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and they're all done. But the big breads, they're more work. So if I was telling you to make something, same thing. Just make little ones and they'll be easier for you to handle. You'll get a better result. You see how it's turning the color of the rising sun? But how this place used to go? Oh, my father had this place going like 24 hours a day when I was a kid. Bread all night, bread all day, then pizza all day and night. He couldn't make enough. Let's see how these are coming along. Oh, they're coming off nice. See, these are the lightest. See how nice and light they're gonna be? I can switch them. This is part of it. You have to turn the bread around. Do you have to? That's something else to talk about, how to get the oven to cook perfectly even. I had it like that once. It was like, if I told you how even this oven baked, you wouldn't even believe it. Everything was perfectly done all at the same time. But I recalibrated it, and now for the bread, I gotta turn it around a little bit. How'd that ring come out? So that's what I'm saying. You can't buy bread like this anywhere. I don't know any place to buy the brick oven bread like this. I'm thinking in my head right now, do I really know a place like this? No, I don't know another place like this. But this is the, you know, I don't know if people are into all this new age stuff and all that, but when you're cooking on that brick right there, that's organic. This is supposed to be a lot better for you than cooking out of those metal ovens. It like, once you had it enough times, you could tell the difference. See, I had a little trouble with that, see? See how that came out? I don't know what I'm doing wrong on that one. Maybe I gotta put another little squiggly in there. Maybe that's what I did wrong. That didn't come the way I wanted it. Out of practice. But they're all cooking nice in there. First ones that's gonna come out, probably the pizza bread's gonna come out. First I'm gonna take out the pizza bread, then I'm gonna take out whatever else one looks like it's done. I'll show you how to thump bottom, make sure it's done. Last thing you want is to have the dough still doughing inside. Like, that's a big no-no. Better to have it overcooked with a nice thick crust on there. That's really what you're after. Crusty and crispy on the outside, moist and tender on the inside. But just to show you, you could get a full range of different type of bread to satisfy everybody's need. It's like macaroni. They got 50 different kinds of macaroni. You do the same thing with the bread. And the reason I like the bread better than the macaroni is this has yeast in it, and I love that taste of that yeasted bread. I'm just very fortunate that you know, I'm able to keep this whole place going like this. Okay, here's your pizza bread, look. Oh, this one's nice. Here, come over here, I'll tap on it for you. Can you hear this? Come here. Come here close, you can hear it. It's got to sound like it's hollow, that's the sound. But I'm sure if you took one of those and cracked it open, hey, that wouldn't be such a bad thing either. You could just make sure they're all cooked. Here's Mike's ring. Mike wants to take that home to his wife. I always wanted to have a little more color. I'll move it over there where it's a little bit hotter. I got to start getting them out of there. That timer went off a long time ago. Oh no, what did we say, around 20 minutes, Mike? Yeah, we still got 19 minutes. Look at the bottom. See that little bit of black on the bottom? That's nice. It hasn't been 20 minutes. The round ones, you generally want to cook those a little longer because it takes longer for the heat to penetrate inside there. He's tapping it? Yeah. You hear that sound? It's supposed to sound like it's hollow in there. It does. I always like to give everything a couple extra minutes if I can. If it's not burning or nothing. This one's getting kind of dark. So it's done, take it out. Now you gotta remember one thing, and this goes for pizza as well. This bread, when you take it right now, Say, take one and crack it open. Look how crispy it is. Look. See me trying to crack it? Zoom in there close. The outer crust, you see how thick that is? The thicker you can make that crust without the bread being burnt or the bread drying out, that's your goal. You want it as crusty as you can. You got some nice crust building up there. Can you see how thick the crust is? That's sufficient. If you could get that crust to go around a little bit more, that's prized like that. People that know good bread, that's prized. But this bread, you could eat this just like this. But my grandfather, the story was, he never ate his bread till it was a day old. See this one, Mike? This one's not, that's done too. Take it out. Oh, this is the one I patted down, and this is the one I didn't pat down. See the difference? And tell you the difference between Italian bread and I guess other kinds of bread. When you look in here close, I'm gonna give you a lesson. You do not see any big air holes. Italians didn't want to see big air holes in their bread. If they saw big air holes in their bread, they come and they talk to you about it. It's like now, every time they show you bread, they show you with these big air holes. That means you didn't ferment the bread properly. That was a sign. You see how little all the air holes are? Let's cut it open and see. And I made this bread quick too, but you see how I knocked it back down and everything? That was all that was about, was getting these air holes out of there. So that's pretty good right there, see? Now if you want to slice that, you put your bread and butter on there, or you could slice it thin and make like little sandwiches on there. You could do a lot with this bread. That's the whole thing. Can you do a lot with the bread? Yeah, a lot of things you could do. This one, you'll get nice slices out of this. That's a slicing bread. This one, you want to cut it in half, and you could either make any kind of sandwich on this. This makes a nice sandwich, the pizza bread. Sold thousands of those. It's whatever the people want. But basically, it's all the same basic recipe that you're going to get. This is the long skinny ones of French bread, the long skinny ones of French bread. I like when it gets these cuts on here. If you get the cut like that every time, that's a good thing. Here's that one that I said was going to be a snail. Then I only got this one more. I'm going to give yours a couple more minutes, Mike, all right? Mike wants to take that one home. Just leave it over there. A couple more minutes and we'll take that one out too. It could take a couple more minutes because that's the one that's 2 loaves of bread in one. But I'm proud of all this stuff. If you bought all this bread now, you take it home. If you're not going to eat it, you put it in the freezer and you take it out. 20 minutes, an hour, it's going to be just the way you put it in there. If you want, you pop it back in the oven, 5 minutes. I recommend pop it back in the oven 5 minutes. Come out just the way it came out of the oven the first time. And when the bread gets a day or two old, you use it, makes good garlic bread. That's what we always told the people. Today you want to make sandwiches on the bread, is good. Tomorrow it's better for like dipping into your gravy, has more body, holds up to the sauce. And then on the second day, it makes good garlic bread. Then by the third day, who knows what you want to do. You got to see if the bread still looks like it has life to it. And then after that, as long as you leave it where the air gets around it, that's what the old-fashioned bread box was for. If you had a bread box, bread keeps nice in a bread box. If not, put it in a plastic bag. I've been having good luck putting it in a plastic bag and sticking it in the refrigerator. I've been having good luck with it. Get an extra day or two out of it. Here's a couple of fine examples of finished product. This one is called the ring. This is a 1.5 pound ring. And you see how nice you can see the bottom looks? This is perfect. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. You look for this little mark over here where it was sitting on the brick. How do you know it came out of a brick oven? You're gonna look around and you're gonna see the brick marks. And this is your pizza bread. This one came out perfect too. And here's your brick mark over here. Usually you can see it on every loaf of bread where you know it came out of a brick oven. And that's the best bread you're gonna get is gonna come out of a real brick oven like this. If you can find one, if not, hey, go get one on your own. I don't know what else to tell you. So I say bravo to anybody who can make you a loaf of bread that looks like this. Okay, you get bread like that, you're living good. Okay? And anytime you want a loaf of bread like that, call up and I'll put it on the side for you. Because I make bread every day, and usually it's available after 4 o'clock. If you need a big order, that we have to talk about that. I'm very proud that I'm still being able to make a loaf of bread like this. Goodbye, and come down when you need a good loaf of bread. Call ahead, I'll put it on the side for you. Thanks. I'm Al Santillo from Santillo's Brick Oven Pizza in Elizabeth, and we've been here since 1918, and we'd love to see you come down and pay us a visit sometime.